So the ongoing saga of these ST-620 FireAngel smoke alarms. I put a few of these a while ago. I've already posted a video some time ago because they seem to just fail early. But so this is one of a batch I've been using. I'm never going to buy them again. But this particular one, so it's squeaking with a low battery signal. It says replaced by January 2028. So again, it's failed well inside its 10-year alleged lifetime. There's not been anything special about it. It hasn't been going off any more than at all, basically, in its lifetime. And it's in a dry environment, reasonable temperatures, not in the bright sun or anything. So goodness knows how they think they can sell these with a 10-year lifetime. Anyway, I was going to take it away. They seem to have changed the way these work now from the initial ones that I had, in that you can't change the battery without stripping out some firmware or whatever, which prevents you from replacing the battery. It just bricks the device basically, so it just doesn't work anymore. But I'm going to see if I can, with this one, these just prise off obviously, these clips around the edge. One more. Maybe see if this one I can change the battery, but it's probably not going to be possible, but we'll see. So what's holding that? It's this holding it, I think. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there's the sounder. I think if you change the battery or try and change the battery nowadays, it only makes a very low sound or something. Does something weird to make it unusable. So if you actually lose power, I assume, then it will trip some firmware somewhere which prevents it from being used again. But I reckon if I keep power onto it, maybe I can stop the battery. I've got a 123 CR123 battery, which I think is pretty much the same as this one. It's not the same number. This is some weird number, CR17335, but they're all 3 volt, and physically this is pretty much the same size. So yeah, I mean this is, you can see that it's effectively the same size. It's exactly the same length, and it does seem to be the same diameter. I mean, it looks shorter. The immediate impression, I think, it's just the coloration of the silver one versus some with the colours, but it is actually the same length. So I'm sure it would do. So the question now, I guess, is how I can get this connected without losing power from this battery. I suppose one obvious thing to do is just to connect this in parallel. Maybe even just leave this one in place and just solder this one in. That might be one way of doing it. It's a bit of a knife and fork job, but obviously that also assumes I can solder onto these terminals. It should be alright. A lot of hassle, I guess, to hack a device that's potentially safety critical. Well, it is safety critical, so not worth compromising for the sake of a few pounds. But yeah, we'll see. So there is this switch here, which is kind of curious because it seems to actually break the circuit when you attach it to the ceiling adapter or the wall adapter. It lifts this plastic pin, which breaks this contact. There's a contact here, that another one on the board, the PCB, and yeah, that seems strange. That's breaking the contact should turn it on rather than. Oop, there you go. Yeah, if I lift that up, you see the flash there. The LED flash. Oop, and there's the squeak, the low battery squeak. Yay. Yeah. Right. So I think shall I either keep this battery because it's a good battery, I use it in other things, or I try and solder onto this and reconnect it in. I think, in fact, I'm not going to do that, simply because it's a safety critical item. It's just not worth the risk. The risk is, I guess, that well, I mean, it should last to 2028, shouldn't it? Oh, what I was going to say was that the sensor has presumably got a limited lifetime, or it could become clogged with dust or whatever, which would be one reason for having the 2028 end date on there, or replace by date. But I guess I could replace the battery and then only use it up to 2028. That might be a reasonable thing to do from a safety perspective. We actually have multiple smoke alarms, so we're not relying solely on one smoke alarm. So yeah, what the hell? I'm going to see if I can solder onto this. If I can, then I may try and patch the wires into the power supply before cutting this battery out of the circuit. Let's give that a try. Okay, so I've managed to solder onto this battery. A bit messy on that end, but it's secure. And I've checked that I've still got some faults. I haven't actually damaged the battery. And yeah, 3.27 volts, so that's fine. So the thing now, I guess, is to try and strip the insulation off these two without actually cutting the wires, and solder this back in place, and then I can cut this one out. I think I'll go down to the garage to do that, and the soldering iron's down there anyway. So take off this heat shrink. So this is spot welded on, as you'd expect. So I reckon I can weld onto this tag and then cut the tag off. So I don't need to strip the wire itself. I can leave that attached to this tag. I'm starting to think this might be a clip rather than a soldered joint. A spade connector. Oh no, it is soldered. Yeah, so that is soldered there. So this is going to be tricky. Maybe I can solder these two together and desolder it from the tag at the same time. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Let's just tin this for a start. Okay, so I've just got that back together again. And so if I turn it on by pressing this tab that's depressed when it's clipped into the holder. So that is now on. I can just see the LED. You probably can't see it, but see if the test. No. Yeah, there's the LED. So yeah, that seems to work. As I say, I wouldn't recommend doing this simply because it's such a safety critical item. You don't want to mess with it and risk your safety. But so I've done it on the basis that I can see that the expiry date isn't until 2028. So the sensor should certainly last that long. And yeah, I'm prepared to take the risk. I test them every week or every month anyway, so I'll keep an eye on it, but hopefully they'll keep it going for another 5 years. I'll just test the voltage on this. Yeah, 309. So it's, I mean, on the face of it, it's got plenty of volts to keep the thing going. I guess they try and make sure the battery is absolutely full, so the alarm is going to sound correctly. They don't want to let this sort of run down to 2.5 volts or something, and then find that when you actually need it, it hasn't got enough power to drive this horn. So, but yeah, surprising. That's still well above 3 volts. Anyway, hopefully this will keep going for another 5 years, as I say. Right, thanks for watching.